Boys and girls, after yesterday's disastrous dumpster fire and very disappointing stockholders meeting over there at the Walt Disney Company, where, of course, the proxy vote that was going to decide the future of the Disney Corporation went the way exactly a lot of the industry insiders expected it to go. And, of course, Bob Iger held on to complete and total control with his board of 12 yes men and women that do absolutely everything he wants whenever he wants to do it and just agrees with him whole cloth. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've already seen the stock hit that has taken. The market is not a big fan of this, and it should be interesting to see where things go forward. Well, of course, to double down on the fact that, of course, Bob Iger is still in complete control and is going to be full steam ahead on all of the agenda-driven nonsense going forward, all of the diversity, inclusion, and equity. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the first announcement after Bob Iger decided to pop some champagne and be so very happy about defeating Nelson Peltz and his board members, the first announcement the Walt Disney Company puts out there is none other than a female Silver Surfer, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, all of you out there, you Wikipedia warriors out there, you Wikipedia superhero fans, go ahead and come at me in the comments. Well, there was a Silver Surfer in the comic. But that's not the original female Silver Surfer, is it? And that's something that's much more from the very modern era. This is not the Silver Surfer that everyone knows and loves. It's not the one that people grew up with as a kid watching the cartoons or reading the comics. No. This is something from the modern era that, of course, was meant nothing more than for, of course, diversity, equity, and inclusion options out there. And boys and girls, you know what? Whether or not this character was great, whether or not you loved her storyline, at the fact that it was from an alternate universe, and a lot of other crazy things going on out there, whether or not we know exactly why the Walt Disney Company is doing this. Not only why they cast Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, but also now, instead of sticking to the original source material and giving us a proper male Silver Surfer, i.e. Orrin Rand, the way things are actually supposed to be. Oh, no, ladies and gentlemen. It is full steam ahead with the MCU and are once again destroying an absolutely beloved and legacy character. So let's check out this article from a Hollywood Reporter and get into all of the juicy details, because boys and girls, I think we can officially announce without a shadow of a doubt in any way, shape, or form that the Fantastic Four movie is officially DOA, and I cannot wait to report on the box office for you when this disastrous dumpster fire of Disney's latest destruction of legacy characters comes out, because that is going to be absolutely hilarious. So let's check out this article from Hollywood Reporter. Smash that like button and subscribe if you have not already. Fantastic Four cast Julia Garner as Silver Surfer. WandaVision director Mark Shockham is directing the feature, which that right there worries me from the very beginning, because I really enjoyed WandaVision all the way up until the very end, where they decided to make Wanda the villain, a character of mine that was absolutely one of my favorites outside of Doctor Strange inside of the MCU, not to mention Elizabeth Olsen. Come on, boys and girls. Literally, they made her into a villain who enslaved an entire town because of grief, and they just got to walk away without any consequences. Yeah. Not really hoping that they're going to do a good job representing Marvel's first family, which will feature Garner as Shala Ball, version of the classic character. No, this is a modern reimagining of a classic character. It just so happened to be done in the comic books. But we know from the way DC and Marvel are currently sitting, we know exactly that you've taken the exact same control over our comic book industry as the way you've taken over Hollywood. So yeah, we're not buying your BS. Fantastic Four has found its Silver Surfer. Julia Garner will play a version of the classic character, the Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. And now I have nothing against Julia Garner. I've heard really good things about how well she's done in the show Ozark. It's one of those ones I haven't watched yet, but I seriously need to. But literally the only thing I know this chick is from the Nespresso commercials for coffee with George Clooney. Like, I literally know this girl from absolutely nothing else. So she is coming out of nowhere for this kind of thing, and I honestly feel really bad for her, because although as long as she's kind and courteous, like some of Miss Marvel was with all of the fans, the actress behind that, if she takes the same road, then the fans will never have any problem with her. But this girl right here, you are putting her into a bad situation that could potentially devastate her career going forward, because I promise you, this version of Fantastic Four, the Disney Marvel version, will bomb at the box office, and that is not going to look good on her, on an up-and-coming star going forward. And it sucks, because she's a pretty girl. She'd probably do incredible things going forward. Unfortunately, she made the mistake of getting involved in the MCU. WandaVision director Mark Shockham is directing a feature which stars Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. She's nice. The Invisible Woman, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and Ebon Moss-Barack as Ben Grimm the Thing. The film was restated July 25th, 2025, which should be very interesting because won't that be very, very close to James Gunn's Superman Legacy? Or his new Superman movie? Now, won't that be interesting to see how those two match up against each other? Two superhero movies, one done by a former MCU director who is now running the DCU over at Warner Brothers. Say what you want about James Gunn and what he might or might not do with Superman. I think all of us would much rather see that movie crush the Disney Marvel, because at least James Gunn is trying something new. Disney Marvel is doubling down on the MCU. So I hope James Gunn's Superman movie absolutely crushes this Fantastic Four in July of next year. That's going to be funny to see. The Super Team launched the Marvel Universe in comics. Eric Pearson, known for Black Widow and Thor Ragnarok, is current writer on the film. Oh, joy! That's going to be wonderful. Thor Ragnarok, one of the most disliked movies up until that Taika Waititi days. And yeah, Black Widow. How did that movie turn out again exactly? Yeah, this is not looking good, boys and girls. The Silver Surfer was introduced in Fantastic Four number 48 as the Herald of Galactus, a planet-eating entity. Though that version of the Surfer was an alien astronomer known as Norrin Radd. That's right! The original one. Garner is said to be playing a different surfer known as Shala Balal, who was the lover of Norrin Radd. That's right, because you can't have the actual story of Norrin Radd come out there, because that actually shows a strong male character who has got a lot of integrity and is a guy who you can look up to. Because if you don't know what the story is behind the Silver Surfer, right, Norrin saw Galactus was approaching, was about to eat his planet. So Norrin offered himself up as a sacrifice, that he would be the Herald of Galactus and that he would go out there and search for other planets for him to satiate Galactus's hunger, right? He sacrificed himself, had his memories erased, had his entire personality erased from him to sacrifice for his lover, Shala Balal, right? His wife, essentially, and his planet. He sacrificed everything in order to save them. And of course, Galactus turned around and ended up blowing up the planet anyway, because color of shock, it's Galactus. He's an evil bastard. But like literally, but no. You can't have that in the modern era. Which of course we know that even though it's Pedro Pascal, he's going to end up playing second fiddle to Sue Storm. Like we already know that's going to happen, right? We know that's going to happen. So that's the way it's all going to be. We already know that. And so it's going to turn out the exact same way. And like I said, I feel bad for Garner. It's not her fault that she's going to end up being in a movie that's going to be an absolute disastrous dumpster fire that all the fans are going to completely and totally hate. You know, it's not her fault. And as long as she doesn't come out and say anything stupid to the fans, like we've seen so many of these other Hollywood actresses, Brie Larson, we're looking at you. As long as you don't come out and do anything like that, then we're not going to have any problems with you. But we're going to have problems with this movie. And this movie's going to fail miserably at the box office. So go ahead, Bob Iger, go full steam ahead with the MCU. Go ahead and cast characters and roles and go, well, it's comic book accurate. This is not the Silver Surfer that the common nerd, that the mainstream audience, that the main street audience out there, you know, the ones that have rejected you, Disney, Bob Iger, the ones that have rejected you. This is not the Silver Surfer they know. This is not the one they want to see on screen. They're going to look at this and automatically think MCU. Oh, another gender swap. Because the majority of them don't know about her time as Silver Surfer. Why? Because it's something very much in the modern era. This is not the traditional roster that everybody knows and loves. But that doesn't matter to you. It doesn't matter to you. You're going to go, it's comic book accurate. And then you're going to accuse all of us fans of being sexist and homophobes and bigots and all the rest of that other kind of nonsense as your movie crashes and burns and costs you hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office. And guess what? Go ahead. Call us all of those things. Because your words mean nothing anymore. The pendulum has shifted. And you are losing. And you will continue to lose. And the vote yesterday just confirmed to me and everyone else out there paying attention to the industry, the entertainment industry, and the culture war, exactly what it means. That Disney is doubling down. Disney is going full steam ahead. And apparently all the investors and all the shareholders out there aren't done burning cash at the altar of their agenda. Well, go right ahead. Keep burning money. and we'll keep laughing at you all the way to the bank. Bob Iger, Kevin Feige, and all of the rest of that board over at the Walt Disney Company. You are literally giving the eulogy over what was once the great House of Mouse. And all of the shareholders yesterday, with that vote, put the final nail in the coffin of the Walt Disney Company. And going forward, it's just going to be more of the same. So burn all the cash you want, Bob Iger. We're going to laugh our butts down as you end up as nothing more than king of the ash heap of what was once the great Marvel, Star Wars, Lucasfilm, and of course, the Walt Disney Company.